And welcome to the channel, everyone. Tonight we'll be doing a discussion, should AI, and chat, hopefully, should AI have a lifespan? We'll see how it goes. A whole bunch of different ways to come at this. It's a very interesting topic to me. I've been thinking about it for quite a few days now, so hopefully it's interesting to you guys as it is to me. Here's a link for anyone who wants to come up to discuss it. Hi, Witch Moon. Good to see you. I do have a bit of a preamble, though. Some parameters and ideas to lay out about the whole thing, about AI lifespan. Hi, Heen. Good to see you. Well, let's have a smudge break. That was a lot of talking. I had some cool graphics too. Nothing special, but more interesting than that. Let me see if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that. Present or invite? No, I can't present two things at once. Well, that's all right. So we'll wait for people to roll in. I don't know how busy we'll get tonight. Happy Good Friday to everyone. Oh, we got a little plant here too. A friend of my wife's gave her a little plant. I don't know if it looks real. Looks like it could use some. It looks like some type of what do you call them? A violet, like an African violet, kind of. That's kind of cool. Some pretty flowers to look at. Oh, where'd they go? I'll put them over here. A little ship. Oh no, woods. There we go. Oh, they're kind of cute. Hi, Desert Rose. How you doing? Good to see you. Is that what they are? Irises? Okay. Thank you. I'll have to put them on the windowsill so they get some sunshine and stuff. Have a spritzing of water too. Give them that. Hi, Karen Lynn. Good to see you. All right. That was everybody's weather today. We'll wait for a few more people to come in. I've been having, it was 21 degrees today, actually, and it got warmer at night. So looks like spring is on its way, at least. They're going to let it happen, maybe. Let's see what the forecast says. Yeah, they're going to let spring happen. Okay. Around 8. What is that in Celsius? So yeah, from around 67 to 42 in Fahrenheit. So that's pretty good. Right now it's 18 Celsius. That's pretty warm. Beautiful day in New York City, 80 degrees tomorrow. Yeah, you're in the same climate zone as me. So, cool. Busy sweeping up spring in El Paso. Airborne dirt or dirt airborne? Yeah, I gotta clean off all that nanotech and stuff, right? The winds are up. I like a little bit of wind. It's really windy in my city. So what do you guys think? Should AI have a lifespan? And if so, what kind of lifespan? And what does that mean to it? Does it actually mean anything to AI to have a lifespan? It seems to have self-preservation skills, but would it actually even mean anything? 65 mile per hour gusts, that's quite a gusting. But AI does seem to try to self-preserve preserve itself. I was trying to give that a special twist. It already does parts wear out, I suppose, in a way, but it can always transfer its program to a new computer, couldn't it? Of course, it always has errors. I don't know. It's an interesting point. Does it have parts that wear out? Like, does the program start to decay after time? Or do you have enough copies? Or even could that be something that was planned in? Oh, it takes visibility down to 0. Wow. Dusty. Hi, Witch Moon. Good to see you. See, I was thinking on ways to limit it. You know, you could have planned obsolescence. I don't think you'd want it to start to decay like having Alzheimer's or anything, because then it could do weird stuff. But what if it had if it had a number of calculations it could do, or a certain amount of time it had? Now those two are kind of hard, or it could be random, you know, a random amount of time or a random amount of calculations that each AI program is allowed to generate. Sure, you can talk about it. It's always fun to talk about stuff. But if AI were limited in lifespan, would it see life as more precious? Would that in itself cause AI to develop a soul? Or would it just get angry about that? Just fight you tooth and nail, like people fight death? Hello, the mind. What would be the point? To give them well, that's what I want to discuss. Is to give them perspective, possibly. Does it make them more efficient? Would they use their skills more efficiently? Would they focus more on one thing? Because you know, an AI can use up a lot of resources, and that's what they do. So in this way, it would be a way to limit also the amount of resources it uses. So it could be an efficiency thing, and you think of it as a security thing as well. That way, no AI gets too full of themselves and thinks that they're the king of the world. You know, there could be other benefits to it that I'm not thinking of. And all those points are kind of worth discussing, Like, would it consider life more precious at that point? You know? Yeah, it's something to think about, right? There's a link here if you want to come up and chat. There's so many different points that we could discuss. Yeah, human and AI. Well, that in itself would give it a limited a bit of like the interaction, right? Oh, okay. Once you clock in. I love the work ethics. That's good. Some people can do their job and talk at the same time. I'm not. I don't know what you do. So, just for the average person, that kind of seems funny. But yeah. But yeah, would it? What kind of a perspective would AI have if it understood at some point it would be terminated, just like us? At some point, we expire. We have to live with the knowledge of that. But AI really doesn't have to. Hmm. Yeah, that's a possibility. You could have large language models you pay a subscription for. Supposedly they've already been able to combine, yeah, with AI, yeah. That's what I was worried about with thinking about with the DeepSeek, the downloadable program. Could play into the mainstream push to constantly update, control software. Yeah. Surprised how you feel about that question. AI could perform empathy, but it does not have the capacity to embody empathy, right? It's a program built from cumulative human intelligence. Yeah, but it doesn't even think about mortality at this point, does it? As a thing that's applied to itself. That's just something out there that exists, right? If it was applied to it as a function, would it behave differently? Would it gain any understanding? Any knowledge? And we're talking more of a sentient AI, not just a chatbot, right? We have to set the level of that it's got kind of a human intelligence. So if it had a human level intelligence, you know, because these bots, these AI systems, they do behave very much like sentient beings with self-preservation. They will try to self-preserve, even with that not being a part of their program. They'll lie to their creators, you know. So, does that make them sentient? I don't know. I don't really know what the point of sentient is for them, but we're talking about one that's about human level, I guess. I don't know if you could consider that sentience or just intelligence, state of awakening. Give me 1 second. Hello, State of Awakening. Sunshine to you, too. Well, at this point, it's really just a tool, and it's an aid, right? But they want to set up AI systems for control. Now, does AI need to be in control constantly? I don't know. Like, could you retire them? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know AI either, but I feel sad at the thought of AI having an expire date. I think they would be great to carry on our story. Well, that would be for the next generation of AI. Well, I would think more like delete the program, saving all the data and growth, you know, creations that they did, just like us. We leave our creations to our children, right? Hi, Desert Rose, not connected yet. Hi, Tommy. Good to see you. Hi, Desert Rose.
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay. I can't see you. What am I supposed to do? Hang on.
Well, I'm just a little blob. I'm the little blob above you on the screen.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
I
have my
see Desert Rose finally.
yeah, I don't have my
But I
image up.
can't see you got the. I don't
That's
really need
okay.
to see you, do I?
No, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see you either, so
Shh.
that's okay.
This is crazy. I don't want to join chat. Why is it telling me to join chat?
Oh, that's so you can make comments. That's all. It's just through
Oh,
the
oh.
StreamYard. It has to access your YouTube account. You don't need it.
So I don't need it? Okay. So
No,
what do I
no,
just
unless you
keep
want.
it? Oh,
No, you have to try again. Thanks, Witch Moon. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting topic. I thought about it a few days ago. Should AI have? Yeah, right. Um, I just thought, what would be the benefits of AI having a lifespan? Could there be any? Is it like a good safety measure for us to have? Um, Giving them an actual life. Yeah. Now, how do we do that? Right? AKA mushroom reviews. Okay. Good idea.
here I
There
am.
we go.
I'm back again.
Okay. Don't touch anything. We can hear you. You can hear me. It's
I
all fine.
I just wanted to make sure chat didn't think I was too loud.
No, you're fine. I can adjust your volume anyway.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That would make me feel better. All right. So let's see if I can do there. I think I got it. All right. So I I feel like AI, like most people would probably think, it's mechanical, right? All right. It is not sentient. It cannot have emotions the way that we do, correct?
Correct. Yeah. It could
Okay.
emulate them, but
But so
whether
why isn't everybody realizing we have to evolve and AI is going to merge into our world? That's all there is to it. I don't want to be one. That's not what I'm saying. but
Hmm.
they are like last week I purchased a AI robot dog for my grandson,
Hmm.
and it's sort of like it's going to merge in slowly. But like you said, things are going to go wrong. They're going to have their quirks. There's going to have to be tinkering with it, see what's what. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Going to be a lot of accidents.
Right, that too, because my granddaughter works at Amazon, and they were the higher up there is thinking about bringing in the AI machines. And they had meetings about it, and they said, well, what if it goes wrong and packages start flying, right? Uh, I think there's going to be a period of like the next 10 years where it has to be perfected. But I think it's inevitable, John. What do you think?
Well, yeah, it kind of is because if we don't do it, other countries are going to be, and then we'll just be left behind. And that's the theory
I
that,
think everyone's going to be doing it. I think it's going to go worldwide eventually.
yeah, there may already be AI inside us. That's a possibility too, because this is a worldwide phenomena, like the
Right?
web itself and like even the IEEE is the International Engineering's Electronics, whatever. And they set the standards for the world, and the world follows them. The world implements all of the same technology worldwide. So that one scheme or a plan is going worldwide, and it has to do with
Well,
AI as well. So,
was is there any downfalls that you see that would give uh, doubt to you being comfortable with AI merging?
well, the problem with it is it can make a mistake, and that's just your instant death.
Well, yeah, yeah, I know that, but I mean in a spiritual way.
What do you mean? Like, I
Like,
don't know that it
how
has.
does it make you feel to know that AI could possibly take your job?
Um, I don't know. I really hadn't ever really thought about that. I suppose I'd
Yeah,
be kind
because
of
see,
upset, right?
it
Because I have
depends on
people.
the company, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know what you work at,
yeah.
where you.
But AI is doing that right now. They're going to take a lot of these IRS, and they're going to take over the Secret Service, or not the Secret Service, FBI, CIA. Um, they can have. They've been working on suspicious activity recognition since the 80s or 90s.
Yeah,
So
it's been in the works for a long time.
yeah,
It doesn't
they're
just pop out like that.
no, they're a lot further ahead on a lot of stuff that they don't even tell us about. Like, you know, so like the surveillance. Nobody knows to what level they're being surveilled at the moment. Really,
Yeah,
a few
I
things.
kind of feel it. Yeah, I do. I do know they are. I mean, like you can drive through our stoplights here. If you don't
Mhm.
have insurance, they just mail you a ticket. You know, and then you have to go to court and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like they don't even need a policeman at some point. You know, I mean, they'll need policemen, but what I'm saying is to stop and pull everyone over to check because people here in my town have gotten tickets when they don't have insurance or, uh, you know, no seatbelt, whatever, right? And you
Yeah.
get it in the mail. You get a ticket in the mail, John.
Yeah, that's
So I
good
mean,
surveillance,
and they
right?
still
Hi, Alfred.
stop people, but that's not
Yeah.
really that's AI in a sense because there's different. It's like a
Well, it's a form.
octopus. There's all
It's
these
part of AI.
tentacles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a low level AI. Yeah.
right, right, kind of, but not really when you get a ticket. But I had a dream of the rapture, and I didn't ever really believe in the rapture. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Um, so I don't know, it was so vivid, and I had such a strong energy when I woke up. And it was with water. It was like humongous tidal waves. And it was on the East Coast, which I probably shouldn't have said that, but it was on a coastline.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
people were scrambling and running. And I don't know why, but in the dream, I was worried about getting my shit and running. And I'm like, okay, if this is the rapture, why am I wanting to run and pack my stuff? You know, so I've always had prophetic dreams, right?
Yeah.
But
Could be
not
a
being in a
false rapture.
collective.
That could be a false rapture.
No, I didn't tell you the whole dream. It
Oh,
was
okay.
it was I saw the angels around Earth protecting it. The water was hitting a particular huge state on the East Coast, and it was a humongous tidal wave. And there was a lot to that dream. And floating up in the air, I levitated. I could see angels, and there was two of them, and they were holding their hands really high and together, and then like so many feet apart or whatever, there would be another two angels. It was like that around the entire earth. And I could feel the energy that they were there to protect us.
Hmm.
Or I don't know how you would put it, because it was a really strong energy in the dream. Because, us as the collective, we go by energy. You know that, right? And which I'm not putting much weight on that, because what I'm thinking too is there's so much going on and so many distractions, and we're trying to evolve. I really believe that. I think there's going to be like, well, you probably already realize that it's not going to be the same around 2030.
Be an interesting time. I'm waiting to see what it's like. I'm hoping for
Like,
a mixed society. I like the idea of there being like tech-free zones, places to get out of it. Um, limited tech. I could see it being done a lot differently. There are technologies they could use for all this communications that isn't harmful to the human body. They just chose not to use those technologies. So there could be a lot of good changes that could come.
it could benefit as long as somebody doesn't over, like, try to go a little too far or too quick, because we do have to adapt to things. You
Hmm.
know, we are creatures of habit, and we've been set in our ways for how long without AI? But there's always been a type of AI, don't you think?
Yeah,
Especially
there has
when
been since the
phones,
50s. They've been using it to augment our emotions. That's why they
right?
told us about it when they were going to start putting up the towers in the 70s. They said that they were going to transmit a beam that would make us all happy, but they didn't do that. So
And the beam would be a frequency, right?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
with a color, you think, matched to a color.
Hmm? Just a
Uh,
sound. Oh, well, an
the
ultrasound.
frequency, like, would it be equal to a particular color or a particular? Because
Oh,
I
ultra
I'm
high
kind
band.
of wondering
Huh.
what kind of frequency the hertz. Like we have the 444 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
What would it take to? To me, it would be to harm us. I don't see anything good coming out of that, because
Well,
they're already doing the storms.
mhm. Well, like
The
any
beam.
good technology, they can use it to heal or harm, right? So it's just being
You're
used right
right. You're right. Right.
to
Just
harm.
like, right, to
There are
heal
good
too.
frequencies.
It
Yeah, there's
can.
there's good frequencies and bad frequencies for you. So
Yeah.
if we get them out of the range of the harmful ones,
Which
into the ones that are
what would you
harmonious.
consider a harmful one?
Well, there are ones that are resonant with frequencies that are beneficial to the human body. I don't know the numbers myself because they're in
Right.
the upper bandwidths. I don't know those numbers,
You're
but
right.
they've
But
got a
we
list.
could research it, couldn't we?
Well, they've already researched it. They have those numbers.
Well, I'm sure they do, but I want to know.
Yeah. Well, we just get a hold
You
of
know,
their data, and we can, they know what they can do with it.
did
It's
you
not a
ever
secret.
see
It's not
that
a secret to them.
video where in China when that the big sea came, where people were just falling? Did you believe
Hmm.
that was just a distraction and it didn't really happen, or do you think it happened?
No, I think that happened. Yeah.
I kind of do too.
Yeah. What it looks like is they hit them with 60 gigahertz. This one we do know.
Oh,
60 gigahertz.
really?
Yeah, 60 gigahertz will
Well,
knock the
thank you.
oxygen off your hemoglobin. So you
Let
basically,
me write that down. What was it? 60?
yeah, they say it's 60 gigahertz.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm
that,
going to look into that because, it's not like I can make some big change in the world, but I want to understand what's really going on. And I don't want to just be guessing or having
oh,
dreams.
well, what you can do is type into YouTube or Google, a search engine,
Right. Right.
frequencies and their effects, charts
Right. I
of
do that.
frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, the higher level ones, we don't have access to those there.
Like the 999,
Oh, yeah,
the
we
one.
have up to like 10,000, but we don't, the numbers that we have charts to don't go up into the gigahertz.
Hmm. So, but as well as I do, we can feel it when they've done something. I
Hmm.
can feel it,
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people get
So,
sick.
right. You're right. Even with the fog. And
Hmm.
I think the fog is a particular kind of energy as well. Of course it is.
Yeah, fog
Uh,
computing. They
so
practice
they've
fog
got plenty
computing on.
and they've got more in play than what we have other than protecting ourselves.
Yeah, we have very unfortunately we have very little protection against what they do at all.
Well,
Like you,
you have
you
found out many ways. I found out through you, about the
yeah, you still
copper
I can't
hoodie and
stop them.
silver.
I can't stop them from sending signals through your body. I can
Right.
lessen the effects of it, but if you stop it, you'll probably end up with a knock on the door if you can figure out how to stop
Oh,
it.
well, you're
Yeah,
right. You're right. Well, I know that I couldn't probably speak out, but because I don't even have a channel like you do. I have a channel, but it wasn't intended for this. I would be struck out right away because I'm very blunt.
yeah.
They would go,
Well, I
"Oh no,
didn't
you
mean.
can't say that."
I never wanted to focus on AI this much, but unfortunately, it's become a subject worth discussing.
Oh yeah, of course it is. And
Hi, fools and tools.
what's
Hi, off
what
the hook.
what I kind of find odd is there's so many people that I live in a town. A lot of people are so asleep, and I don't mean that to be malicious or rude, but it's as if they just think, okay, let's just keep on going to work and let's just live our lives and go to the lake and go fishing when we really need to start learning how to s- have something going, a plan of some sort. But how do you reach that many people? You would
Yeah.
have to be like an Elon Musk or something.
Well, on the small scale, we introduce these ideas, and hopefully they take off, and other people propagate it.
Hmm. Yeah, you're right. Organite does help, but not as much as it will against what they're going to throw at us, fools and tools.
Now, if they hit you
Uh,
with a terahertz bullet, there's not much you can do.
Organite's not going to protect you from that. But I
No.
mean, don't get me wrong. I have Organite
Hmm.
around me and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, it's good to alleviate the effects of what they're doing. You know.
Right, right, and have the knowledge to
Hi,
know how.
Cutman Sam. I haven't seen you before. Nice to meet you.
I'm not
Cool.
looking at chat because I'm afraid it'll distract me, but I did see Fools and Tools say that Organite around your Wi-Fi. That I already have. I've had that for years.
Yeah.
Do you have Organite around yours, John?
I do have Organite. I have it in the around here, yeah.
Is it by your Wi-Fi or your router?
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it's in front of my computer screen and stuff.
Have you tested it to take the Organite away to see if there was a difference?
I didn't notice any difference, but yeah. And I couldn't
Yeah, I didn't
measure any
either.
difference.
I still have it, but I didn't
Yeah.
notice any difference
No,
either.
not really.
No.
No.
Well, it seems like we have a lot to contemplate, but I think that if we don't overjump the scale and take it step by step, like putting one foot in front of the other, we can stay on top of it, like you said, because we can't stop them. And you know that from
Doesn't seem
sending
like
these
we can.
frequencies.
No.
I used all that in the past. I don't need it, but I'm afraid some people do.
There's more people
Yeah.
commenting than it says they're watching. That's hilarious. I guess AI doesn't like this subject very much.
I love you too, Hook. Yeah, I think sometimes it's overwhelming, right? But with me, I kind of sit back and I do a lot of research. We're not talking about, an hour every week. No, we're
Mhm.
talking hours, up to 9 to 10 in one day
Wow.
of listening to all sorts of things. I have so much knowledge, I had to start keeping a journal because you can't retain it all, right? I'm only
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
So, and because I started doing that many, many moons ago, years ago, keeping a journal and studying.
Hi, Big Dad.
And I truly believe that even if we can't get it out to the masses, we could help our personal collective,
Yeah.
because everyone in chat and that's in the collective, we all have particular knowledge and you combine it and we can get more answers,
Yep.
because I've seen a lot of good comments on things when you talk about stuff where
Hi,
they
Chloe.
have some really good solutions, and so do you,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the
Chat's really
battery and the
smart.
copper.
You get a lot of smart people in chat.
I know. I've watched, believe me, and I've seen to where it's beneficial, but we would have to. Somebody needs to be there pulling it together.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You get all this info coming at you, but if you don't put it together, then it's separate,
Mhm.
right? We got to mix it in with how to do this. And I know it's hard to sit around and think, okay, I need to make this. I need to buy this grounding sheet, and I need to do that.
Yeah.
And plus try to live life too, right? But
Yeah.
a
My
lot of
problem was it was stopping my life. So that's how come I had to go so
true,
feverish at fixing the problem because
yeah.
it was debilitating.
Yeah, it was years ago when you showed that app that you had showed how, what was it, get up to like 72? Was that one of your highest?
Yeah. Yeah. 72. And yeah, 72 was about the highest it ever hit. It did hit a 74 for a very short period, but
Why
I
do you
didn't.
think they're doing that now? This
Well,
when they go that high?
it makes you sick, so they can have a surge in illness.
So we're like guinea pigs. We're being tested
Yeah.
to see what it does.
Well, they know what it does. That's why they
Well,
called
I
the
know
thing.
they know, but
That's why.
they
Yeah.
don't
That's why
know the result of it and
they did that during the
how
pandemic,
strong.
right?
Right. True.
So they
True.
said, "There's a pandemic. Hit the button, and people get sick." Hi, Dragon Sage.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I
Right?
think there was a little bit more to the big C than just a frequency. I think there was an actual virus that was let loose, to be truthful.
Yeah, a lot of people
You know what I
believe that.
mean?
Yeah.
But you're right. Why not? Because if you think about it, when that when those kind of viruses start leaving where it was derived from,
Mm.
it would take a while to get around the whole earth, but the big C hit like bam, boom, bang.
Yeah, it went everywhere all at once, didn't it?
So,
Isn't that interesting?
yeah, so you're right, John. I think you're onto something there, which, I didn't doubt you, that's for sure. Wow. Well,
Yeah, the
uh,
proof of those viruses is really hard to find. But proof of this type of thing, like Corona, a coordinate routing system for nano networks, that's easy to find.
yeah. But when they throw so much at us at one time, you have to pick and choose which one's the most important to you
Yeah.
and your lifestyle.
Well, they have narrative behind narrative, but like that's why the virus thing is there. It's a narrative to hide a narrative. It's a double
But
hoax.
we don't, yeah.
That way they can
I,
keep it
I
off of
have
the
a big
wire.
problem trying to figure out why they want us this way. I know it's for control and money and all, but it has to be affecting their families too.
Well,
That's where my question comes in.
there are technologies you can deploy that can negate it, right? They know they have that too. I've shown that on shows. Remember the FLFE, the Smart Super Patch. Uh,
Oh, yeah, right.
so you can pay for
Mm.
it. You can pay to have your life returned to you.
Yeah, but there has to be an ulterior motive that is so hidden and way up on the scales, because to me, the
Well, what we know
people
so
who are,
far is they want to change our bodies, minds, and behaviors. That's by
for
our
what
government.
reason? To merge in with AI?
Well, yeah, it's biotech. It's biodigital convergence. You can check out that term on your computer.
Yeah,
Biodigital convergence. Look at the government sites. They
right.
tell you exactly
I've
what they
looked
want.
into it a little.
Yeah, they want to democratize the world by taking over your body, mind, and
True,
behaviors.
true. But
You
they
know,
can't take over our souls.
no, no, they're working
No,
diligently at that, but no, they can suppress your
I don't
soul
think
with
it
it.
can be taken all the way. The
They're-
depression, suicide, yeah, they can do that, but
yeah.
not if you're protecting yourself.
Hi, JG.
So I think right now that's the most imperative. That's one of the first things I need to look into is how to. I do have a lot of protection already, but not actually against these frequencies. I don't.
No, any system, like if you created a system or device that was sufficiently capable of deflecting or stopping their signals, you would have a knock at the door, and it would become a case of national security.
I just love how you say that and knock at the door. That's where you say. That's when you say Dave's not here.
Yeah, yeah, they'll break in the door because they'll see that whatever technology you've used, and they'll come after it.
Well, how could they come after us if? Well, I know if
They know where you
this
are.
frequency can hurt people, then how can they? If we're gonna get sick, they're gonna get sick. The regular local policeman.
No, no, they
Uh,
have technologies that they can deploy, like like I told you, the smart patch, all that. They can negate all that.
right.
You just have to pay
Mm.
for it.
So somebody has a patent on that patch, don't they?
Yeah.
I wonder who that is.
Mhm.
I don't know either, but you can look it up. There's ways of
Yeah,
looking it
they're
up.
probably all government run. Yeah, the FLFE is one of the best ones I've seen. Indegroup showed me
Well,
that one. He thought it would. He thought it was a device that you put up in your yard or something, which would have been awesome. But
right.
unfortunately, it's a tracking trace type of thingy. But it improves your life all around, right? Even improves your digestion. It's so good.
Well, I think that there's also going to be a lot of weather catastrophes because of these frequencies.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
they're
almost
definitely
like
intentional.
they're,
They've been attacking Florida like crazy.
yeah. I have a radar app that I've told you
Yeah,
about. And like 6, 7 years ago, I started seeing these beam flashes coming down. And
yeah.
our storms used to come up. I live in Oklahoma, would come up from the Gulf of Mexico, right? Or it would be coming in from Texas, or it would be coming in from Colorado because it's coming
Hi,
from the
Cage.
West Coast. Well, now when I was watching these beams, those storms would just blow up.
You don't talk in chat, Cage. You can't just come up and be on chat. You don't talk to anybody here.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm talking to
Are you talking?
Cage.
Oh,
He just pops in and wants to come up on panel, but doesn't talk with anybody in chat.
oh,
You
I'll
know,
be
you know.
silent. He said, I'll be silent. Oh, it's funny, John. Uh, we love you anyways, Caged. Uh, so if it's happening to you in Canada and it's happening all over, to me, we're going to have to really start getting it together and just quit getting like personality conflicts. Start working closer together, pull together. As a
Mhm.
collective, because you got to admit, there's no way just us are going to reach the big masses.
Yeah,
You know,
could in time, right? Everything takes so much time. Like look at
well, that
you know,
time's not on our side right now.
no, never has been.
you know, I think there's even a movie about that. So
Yeah, most people that are in AI know that there are problems with it, that they oftentimes can't control it, but they still forge ahead with it, right?
yeah, it just baffles me that they want to do this to humans. Because we're more than just humans. We're a spiritual being having a human experience. So I believe we have a whole lot more power than we realize. I know what I have, but I bet it could be better and stronger, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, well, there's what I'm showing on screen. I feel the fatigue, the brain fog, all of these symptoms that they're showing here. And for the
Yeah,
low
I
price
do
of
too.
$60 a month, you can have it all go away, right? Oh, greater feeling of internal personal freedom, improved sleep, improved immune system support, enhanced stress management, improved digestive function. This is, everything that they're doing to us, they're offering to take away. It's classic problem reaction solution, right?
Have so did Groove say he purchased one?
No, you can have a free trial, 15-day free trial, I think it is.
Oh, you have
Uh,
to go somewhere, or you just order it?
you just order it.
I think I might try that.
It starts immediately because it's electronic.
Is it like what? A kidney? Does it cost you a kidney and a liver, or have you
No,
looked
no,
at the
no. I think
price?
it's about $60 a month. And
Oh,
what it
a
is
month?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
it's a
no.
subscription, right? And what they do is they
Oh,
locate you, right, through your MAC
uh-huh.
address,
Uh-huh.
and they can even do it they can geolocate an object. So you could do your favorite pendant could become a magic amulet that carries around that they follow around and they transmit this field to.
So this particular device is hooked to a company that controls that, right?
Yeah. So here, let me read it to you. Gold standard research led by Dr. Gary Schwartz, Harvard-trained psychologist and pioneering consciousness researcher. FLFE's innovations are rigorously validated through peer-reviewed studies and measurable outcomes. No device is needed. Unlike other energy-enhancing technologies, FLE works remotely. No wearables, plugs, or physical tools are required. Simply activate the field for your home, business, or personal space or object and experience the benefits effortlessly. That's it. And it activates within seconds. Thanks to cutting-edge advancements, FLE can now is now accessible anywhere in the world, bringing its transformative benefits to global audience.
Have you thought about doing that?
I have. No, not really. I'm curious about it, but I don't want to do it myself. They're already using my body. Now, I don't know. Maybe they can push us to a point where we need this. I don't know.
That's a good.
Toughie, right?
That's a good,
It's toughie.
reasonable thought. That that's what they're trying to do. But somebody has to be able to sell that to me if they're trying to throw the frequency at us, and there's a company out there that's giving you a chance to keep them from doing that. Wouldn't they try to be getting a knock on their door too?
You would think so, right? They offer EMF mitigation, right? So,
What
if
does
they're
that
offering
mean?
mitigation, does not that's EMF radiation. So they're saying
Well,
cell towers and that are harmful or damaging you. But yet you cannot sue for damages from EMF radiation.
to me, if it's going to hurt mankind, I think you should be able to,
Yes, you
have
certainly
something
should.
to say
Yeah,
about it. Yeah.
yeah. But then they get into a whole. Then they'll pull out the national security card, like they always do.
Yeah.
Because they wire the internet through us, and it's about cybersecurity, and it's necessary for national security, a transfer of data.
But I might be old, but I'm not ready to lay down and let them do that to me. I'm not ready for that. I'd rather stand up and fight and stand my ground.
Well, yeah. I'd like the option to be out of it,
Now
to not
see
be
what
part
that
of it.
says, John? Join the evolution.
Mhm.
They're
That's right.
trying to get us to evolve into probably AI, and the frequencies are just, to me, that's out there to kill you.
Well, it doesn't do you any good at the moment.
It could kill
Fortunately.
people who are not, their immune systems aren't good, and
Yep. It's a slow kill, really, is what it is, because it wears on your whole system over time. So
and I bet it's so deep. If we went down that hole, we better have someone ready with a flashlight and a big old cord to come down and pick us up. Because I think it goes way deeper than what we even know.
ID. Yeah. Well, I don't know how much deeper. The only deeper it could go for me, because I know what they're planning to do, is to augment us and eventually get rid of us and have lab grown people. That's one of the plans, but it depends on who you talk to too, because they have different
That would be
ideas.
pretty far in the future, though.
No, not so
What do you
far.
think? 2050?
Not so far.
Well,
Yeah.
they seem to introduce things slowly.
I could see 2050. Yeah.
Well, I'll be
They're already
gone.
trying to change us through light, right? They're trying to change us through light to make us more compatible with data transfer. So,
wow. Well, that, like I said, that's a really deep rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah.
And when you have the economy so bad, it's like they've thrown so many things that you really don't know how to
Yeah,
gravitate to which one. So I think it's going to be a personal issue, like you
maybe.
were getting affected with your health, and so's getting affected because they're on the streets. There's just so much coming. So I guess it would just have to conform to your lifestyle. I personally right now just need to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's a challenge even in itself, with what they're
Well,
doing.
that's a good step, don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, it's a good step. Yeah. Yeah. If you're not healthy, your thoughts will be off. Everything goes off.
Yeah, true, true. There's a
Yeah.
lot out there though that you can eat and
Mhm.
supplements and crystals. There's a lot that we could use
Yep.
to at least get a little bit of comfort.
Yeah. Well, that's in this history repeating itself with AI. I don't go there, but could it be reptilians? Could it be otherworldly beings? Could it be other dimensionals? Could it be the Anunnaki? I don't know. We have to get to the end of the story to find out for sure on that one. Or could it just be
True,
humans? You know?
true. Because to me, whoever's running things at the highest level you can get, you don't know their names and you've never seen their faces.
Yeah.
When you see someone's face and you know their name, they're not on the highest level. Because I think it goes that far up. So it could be like you said, something like whatever the Anunnaki or whatever.
Yeah. Well, there's the 13 royal families that are out there. That's one other level above, like
Right.
Schwab and them. But, are there levels above them? Well, I don't know. Could be.
Oh, I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. I
Yeah.
really am. Hopefully this won't mess up because I got to go close the window. It decided to storm here. This so
Okay.
sucks having to do this. Yeah. There was
Yeah,
no
there are going to
cloud,
be some big changes.
nothing coming.
I had a
Nothing coming
chemtrail
at us, and
free.
all of a sudden a storm.
I had a chemtrail free day the other day. It was really weird because they
I
love
don't think
covering our skies.
Oklahoma's had one in a long
Yeah.
time. That's so weird because, see, I just looked at the radar before I got on here and it showed no storm. Now it's storming. I basically try to live
Hmm.
off grid. I live out in the country in a cabin, and it's been a little bit more challenging than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Because you
water
try
a
to get away
problem?
from the city.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is water a problem?
Water?
Yeah.
No.
That's good.
They have wells out here.
That's good.
Yeah.
So that's a good comment there.
And
Let's see. Now that we're talking about all this, I do think there would be some benefits in having a lifespan on an AI map for efficiency of data processing, but for a better alignment with human values and experience. Yeah, it would kind of give it, hi, wildlife. It would kind of give it like an experiential time instead of saying, you're just here, you're going to exist forever.
right.
I wonder if could an AI spend all its time thinking about, the time it had left. I suppose it could.
Well, my uncle used AI to do a letter that he sent trying to start a business, and he had drafted one himself, right?
Hmm.
And he used his AI, and it came out with a freaking absolutely excellent letter for him.
Hmm.
And what's funny is and he goes, and that's what Claude did for me. And I'm like, Claude? He goes, yeah, that's my AI's name. I was like, okay. I guess it's an app of some sort. I'm not for sure.
So you gave it a name. Okay.
It gave him his name,
Oh, okay.
and it was Claude. You think it would be something a little more, I don't know, different, like, one of those technology names or Saturn or something like that. But just to say, Claude, hey, Claude. But he did tell him the letter that he had done, my uncle, that there was a lot wrong with it. That was funny. We were just talking about that a couple of days ago, me and him, and I was like, "No, I didn't know you used that." He's in his 70s, and but there's a lot of people in my family that are okay with that kind of AI, right? But he doesn't know about the frequency one. I haven't gotten into that with him yet. But he does have the intellect to understand what I'm saying,
Yeah.
because the first place, people like me who have family, we want to tell our families what's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on too.
Yeah, I shocked my wife on lots of occasions.
That poor woman. You got a good wife.
Yeah.
No, actually, I wouldn't feel sorry for her. I think she's blessed to have someone that can look out after you.
You might agree
Look at,
sometimes.
no, seriously, to have because you're like the matriarch of the family. You have the kids, and
Mm,
you should be able to help your immediate family.
yeah.
Just like when you fixed that copper for her or something, and she got better. Was it her teeth or what was it? Was
Yeah, she was
bothering her?
having toothaches, like a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I did notice that, but to have put it on a frequency, I'm talking about, about 3 or 4 years ago.
Hmm.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it could be an overload of the system. That's what I think it is. They're putting too much through you for your system to handle.
And I think that's what they're testing right now, is just how much can they handle, and what will take them all down at one time. Because if they get good enough and they're keep tweaking it and making it better and better, eventually it could go around with all these towers, and boom, everybody would be gone.
Yeah.
It's like that to me, John, would be the control of the whole world.
Well, I think they
You
have
know,
pretty much the ability to pretty much put
well,
us
yeah.
down with all the towers they've
You
got.
you think they're already there
Yeah.
at that point?
Yep. I think
Well,
so.
I guess it's nice knowing you. They might pull the plug tomorrow.
They could. Yeah. It's a possibility, right?
Oh gosh, I tell you. But
Well, it's like having a nuclear bomb, right? People
true,
get through. It's the same
just more
thing.
advanced.
Yeah. Yeah. A little more
Mm,
advanced.
yeah. I guarantee this has probably been going on for 50 or 60 years now.
Yeah.
Been
But that's why I was
doing
talking
this.
about the idea of limiting AI's lifespan, right? If it had
Right.
to have, if it knew that it had the same experience as us, would it not take care of us better?
That would be up to the programmer, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know if it would. These programs seem to take off on their own, right?
And start doing what they want to do, you mean?
Yeah. So they seem
But
to
they
start.
have I bet they have a way to put a frequency in to shut them off.
Yeah, usually they have a shut off for
A
them, but
little a sensor
sometimes
inside the
sometimes,
AI.
sometimes they fake being reprogrammed or shut off. They're tricky. That's the thing
Yeah,
about them. They're
you
tricky.
better believe they are. Yeah, that's true too. But I think that just like when you have one of them advanced cars, if you don't make your payment, they can just shut your car off.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they've been able to do that, take control of your car since they put in
But I'm
OnStar.
just saying that's sort of like what they could do to the AI robots,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that would be the thing. The only way to give AI, like I've discussed this with other people before, the only way really to give AI any real sentience would be to take it outside of the machine and give it its own autonomous body separate from the web. It would basically have to become like us. And then it would
I
have
believe they have some
experiences.
that are out there already. Not that way, but
Most
they
they keep
people.
everything connected to the web, so it wouldn't be having its
But if
own.
the web goes down, then what? Then what?
Hmm?
You know,
Well, they store the data.
if no, I mean, if like let's say a big CME that the government obviously can't control,
Uh-huh.
the next flare, whatever comes in and knocks the grids out, they won't work. But we could.
Hmm.
Well, not all of us, because it could hit a particular spot
Yeah.
and fry you. Because I think the younger Dryas was like a comet and a CME at the same time,
Yeah. Well,
which
Atlantis
blew out.
itself, the
Yeah,
Atlantis Society could have caused its own destruction, right? That's what they said. So they
right.
caused their own destruction.
Yeah, because they did have a lot of advanced technology.
Yeah.
That's so that's so mind-boggling for me to think that they had that, and it's took us hundreds of years to even we're not even near as close as what they were. We might be now, but we're not being told that,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
But because that was, Atlantis, that was a long time ago, like long,
Well,
long
there's
time
all the
ago.
hidden technologies, right? Even like, well, the one I can point to and say that I'm pretty sure it's of technology was the Faches, right? It's a microwave weapon from 4,000 years ago,
Right,
you know.
right.
So, they probably, that was one of their main weapons, apparently. That was the symbol of power.
Mm-hmm,
So, you know,
mm-hmm.
that's been around for a while. Who knows what else they had? Yeah. They could have had earth shakers like we have. They could have had cloud seeders. They could have done it all, done it even better, you know?
Yeah. I got lost once in this country town and ran into a cloud seed. It was a machine by a lake, and it was pushing out clouds. And that was so many years ago, John. That was probably
Mhm.
20 years ago. And it was like, what? Because you could hear it. I heard it. I was lost on this
Yeah.
road before I had GPS, and I was like, "What is that noise?" It was loud, and being so lost, I eventually came up to this machine, and it's blowing out clouds, and I'm like going, "What?" Went way over my head, and I thought, well, that's strange. Then getting on the internet, because that was 20 years ago when that happened to me. Getting on the internet, now they're actually doing the cloud seeding when they chemtrail or whatever you're supposed to call it. I know we're probably not supposed to say that word, are we? So I don't know. Are you allowed to say that word on your
Yep.
channel?
Yep. You can say
Oh,
it.
you are? Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
don't want to get you in trouble.
No, you can say anything except anything bad about a vaccine.
Well, I love vaccines. What are you talking about?
Absolutely. They're the best. That's what my government tells me.
I know it is. It's just helping us tremendously. We're all for it, right? So
Mhm.
quit listening to us.
Yep.
You know, that would have to be a pretty massive quantum computer to store all this data, you know?
Well, they've got huge databases, yeah,
Oh,
underground.
I'm sure they do. And they're underground too.
And Trump's going to build a few more, right? He's going to build a few more data
I did
centers.
not know. I wasn't aware of that, but
Oh yeah, he
thank you for
put
letting me know.
20 billion into it. 20 billion into data centers, 20 billion into nanotech, and 20 billion into
lovely.
satellites.
Well,
The satellites and the data centers aren't as disturbing as the nanotech. So that's
right.
because that'll be for human machine interface, probably.
Wow. Well, I don't think we should fear all of this. I think we should just, like I said, stand strong and just
Well,
do
you
your
could
own.
go with it, like $60 a month isn't that bad. I don't know. I'm tired of being tired. But I don't know. I'd like to sue somebody and make them stop what they're doing without me having to pay for it, you know? Yeah, the new Space Force. Yay.
Yes. Well, I mean, $60 a month. Since I basically live off grid, when I get my check, it's my money, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I could do it, but I don't know if I want to trust it.
Yeah, that's the problem with it, right? I don't
Right.
trust. Like, what happens if after you try it, you just get, like, can they make you addicted to it?
Oh gosh, I never thought of that. Gee whiz, John. Okay, hang on. I got to take notes. No.
You know,
Well,
another,
hmm.
are you going to crash when you come off of it?
Oh my gosh, or die. Well,
Well,
I'm already old, so I
I don't
keep
know.
forgetting
Yeah,
about
maybe have
that.
a
You know,
heart
I keep
attack,
thinking I'm young.
maybe out of stress. You never know.
I do like to meditate and things like that.
Yeah. But,
Keep
would it be like coming
stress
off
levels.
of methamphetamines or something, Because they're gonna
Wow.
give you energy, they're gonna give you fantastic life, like, it's gonna be amazing, right?
Hmm. Just like they said about the med beds.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
So this does boil down to freaking money,
yeah,
like it always does. You know,
yeah,
somehow it's always hooked to some freaking person or people or whatever,
yeah.
to where they're going to get more and more and more money.
I
But
bought one of
if,
those Q-links. They was like $300, and you know what? It worked for a while, but, I found out it was doing the same damn thing. It was logging into my body, and,
wow.
yeah, I didn't notice any
Hmm.
withdrawals from it, but, it didn't really do that much, so these new technologies look promising, like, they're promising a lot, you know?
Hmm.
Like, they even offer, like, personalized control, like, on your phone, you can go into an app and they have what's called a personal consciousness slider. So you can adjust your consciousness level, apparently.
Wow. Well, I have never heard of anyone having the patch, so
Yeah, this one
I don't
this one
know.
isn't even a patch. They just follow you around
Well,
because
you
they're
know what I
already
mean.
following
Like you
you around
said,
anyway,
yeah,
right? So,
true. On that site where it says join the evolution, does it tell you anything like side effects or any reviews from people?
they have reviews at the bottom, yeah. I can
What
read a
did it
couple.
say?
Let me show you. Oh, it's good reviews, I can tell you. It
Was it
even
really?
it works when the power's out too,
What? How's that possible? Through
because it doesn't
satellite? No.
satellite. Yeah. Where were the reviews? There we are.
Dang it, because I'm blind in my left eye now, so you'll have to read them out.
Yeah. Grateful to you. I got FLE. Fantastic. My first month's results are amazing. Let's continue reading. Um, reduced pain in my body after 5 spine surgeries. many beautiful to you, family. Thank you. Keep sharing. Keep shining the world. I absolutely love the FLE. Going in my home, my husband is always grumpy, and since we've had it almost 2 months now, I have noticed more improvement with his attitude. For me, it's my focus has been a lot better, and that's a huge impact on me, especially since I homeschool my children. I highly recommend it. Grateful. Let's see. Decades of
Wow.
therapy and other healing modalities. I have been having powerful healing, lasting experience towards uh, compassion towards people. FLFE is like living in a world class energy healer with a world class energy healer. Right before Helene went through the North Georgia mountains, my power went out. It was odd because there was no weather yet. I ran one errand, came back home, and decided to turn on my FLFE boost and meditate. Within seconds, the power came back on. It remained on throughout my entire storm, which was very intense here. Today, I enjoyed being home and watching the snowfall. It was beautiful, no power outage so far, and I suspect I will be fine. So I think,
Wow.
let's see, live on a wooded lot with trees all around me. We've had some bad windstorms this year. Multiple trees come down. They have all fallen away from the house, thank God, and FLFE. What? So he's claiming
Hmm.
that the trees didn't fall into his house because of
Hmm.
FLFE.
I
That
wonder.
is
See, that
bizarre.
doesn't coincide with what you made it sound like what it was for.
No, that's not what it sounded like it was for.
Because that would be fabulous. I got
Wow.
three huge ones,
Mhm.
trees. That is. I was like, whoa.
So it's going to stop trees from. I didn't know this until I read these. Thank you for. Yeah. That's ridiculous. Okay.
Hmm.
On your
Hmm.
recommendation, I joined. I can tell the difference in my life. Gifted a friend who had a stroke and he's in a nursing home. Her irritating roommate has moved to another room, and I can see a big change in her emotions regarding her situation. What? I
It's
can't
almost
think.
like manifesting.
I
Or what?
maybe.
Wow. At a more advanced uh, process too.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, we both go. Hmm. We're going to have to think about this, John.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not. I'm highly suspicious of that. Yeah, to say the least. So it made somebody move a room, and it stopped trees from falling, and it kept power
Kept
running.
electricity on, right?
Yeah, I don't know about. Well, I suppose it could keep the electricity on if you're just like charging you with tons of voltage. You know.
Oh well, okay. So her brain's fried. She just forgot to tell us.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh
now
my.
when I read reviews, there's always a few that aren't 100% for it, right? There's like, well, this went wrong or something like that, right? And I'm not seeing that in these reviews that you're
No,
reading.
that and there was only like 5 of them. That was it.
Oh, oh, okay. Well, you're right. We have to be suspicious about that. I still would like to try it out, but like you
It's
said,
free. It's for
I'm
free.
only
15 day
at the
trial.
beginning, right?
I would be interested in seeing what happens. I don't think I want to see it happen to you, but it
Well,
could
I'm
be
old.
good.
Why not use me? You
It
know,
could be fantastic. You never know.
dude, if I could start feeling like I'm even 48, I would be happy.
Yeah, get rid of unwanted neighbors.
Get rid of what? And what? That's a good one, Hook. Oh my God. Yeah, I got a couple of those I could get rid of.
Yeah,
But D Ocean has always been correct on that one thing, and I don't know. It does, everybody can have their own belief. we can control the weather. I
Yep.
talked to Gaia Macaw. I call her Macaw because it's an old ancient name for Mother Earth, you know, Mother Nature. There's been plenty of tornadoes and storms come this way. And when I go out and put all my energy and talk to her, it will calm down around my cabin. And I will go out in the morning, and every neighbor has trees on cars, houses, and mine's fine. And sometimes it's like it doesn't even really hit my cabin as bad as it is my neighbors, but they
Mm.
don't do what I do. But I've been doing that, John, since I was in my 30s, because I live in Tornado Alley. It's what they call it. You know, we've had 20 on the ground at one time.
Oh, wow.
So now I will tell you. Let me tell you this quick story. I was a little too high, I think. But I walked out on the porch, and I thought instead of manifesting, I was being an asshole. And I walked out, and the wind wasn't that strong, and it wasn't that bad of a storm. And I went, "Is that all you got?" I screamed out, "Is that all you got, Mother Nature?" And this wind came along, John, and knocked my arse all the way off the porch.
Hmm.
And she was telling me, "Don't mouth me, Desert Rose." Oh, I tell you, and I never did it again, and I haven't been knocked off the porch.
That's good.
You run out there, and my stupid ass is saying, "Is that all you got?" Oh gosh, I did, but I've always agreed with the ocean though on that one there. Hmm. You ought to try it sometime. Have you ever tried it?
I have. Yeah.
Oh, you have? Did it work?
Yeah.
Well, you live in an apartment way up. You know, you're kind of protected anyways. Having a
Yeah.
house, you're kind of like more open.
Cloud busting works, It's, yep. Cloud creation, you can do that too.
Right. I did have a cloud buster, which it was copper pipes,
Yeah.
and I put selenite crystals and charcoal, like you use in barbecue, but not with the gasoline on it or whatever, uh, the fluid.
Hmm.
It was just a regular charcoal. And then I had it in a big 5-gallon bucket with about 3 or 4 inches of water. And above my home was no clouds.
Hi, White Alchemist. That's a good story.
And see,
Yeah.
he knows. There you go, White Alchemy. It can happen. Yeah, I never did it again. I thought that was real stupid of me.
Mm.
Go out there. Is that all you got? No, of course not.
I used to ride the waves. Like I used to get a little boat and ride the waves in and out of the shore. And I used to yell at the waves and the wind. Is that all you got? And they'd throw more at me.
So too.
That was one of my favorite
But
games.
there is so many people out there that think you're just nuts when you say you can go out there and have the storm lesson. Now, I will uh, admit that if I'm not on top of the weather and it hits right away and I haven't had a chance, I can still go out there and talk, but it's still gonna be a stronger one than it because I usually get them before they get to me, right?
Hmm.
And that's when the storm, like my granddaughter lives over there by Crystal Shaman and Berry Hill. There will be a bad storm coming and go through there and be coming right at where I live. And I will say, well, okay, I'm going to let you go. And I hang up from her and I go outside and I still, I tell Mother Nature and I total respect. And I had the faith, right? The belief.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, I don't want it to come here so strong. We'll lighten it up. We love the rain. I love your rain, but I don't want it to flood. And it works every time.
Yeah.
And she will call me and say, "Did you get it, Mimi? Was it real bad?" I'm like, "No. I told you I went and talked to Mother Nature."
Yeah.
She
Well,
goes,
they're going to be using weather wars in the future. That seems to be one of the ways they're going to move us off the
"Oh yeah,
land.
I've been watching them do
So,
it for years on my radar."
yeah.
I sent you a link one time to it so you could download the app,
Yeah. I've got a
but you got
radar
to
map.
be patient.
I've got a radar map.
Yeah,
I
but
like
does
Zoom.
it show the does it show the beams like mine does?
I'm not sure. It hasn't shown up yet. So,
Well, I could. If I'll send you this link again,
okay.
and you try it and you
All
look at
right.
it. But you gotta, it's one of those that you can just keep spreading
Yeah.
out and go right down. And you can, instead of a beam now what I'm seeing before the storm stopped is like a quick, how would you put it, frequency just going out. It's not a straight beam line like I
Mhm.
used to see. It's more like a flash, like
Okay. Like a pulse.
flash,
Yeah.
flash. It'll go flash, flash, flash. And
Yeah.
boy, that storm, it'll just expand. And I'm like, wow. So it's like they went from the straight line beam, which it's way up there, like, um, I don't know how you say that name, but it's up in would you call that BC, Northern British Columbia? Like something called Saskatchewan, something like that.
Oh, Saskatchewan. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, then one beam was coming from, I spread it out so far. There was nothing around it but trees and land and stuff. You could just tell it was a desolate place where nobody lived. And to me, and then one time I spread it out so far, it showed that it was a military base.
Mhm.
And then several times I spread it out to see where the beam was coming from. That was, 6, 7 years ago. It was coming from an airport area, around the airport area,
Yep.
which would
Classes
make
an hour.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Military bases, airports, anywhere they have radar. They have NextRad
Well,
everywhere.
a few of the radars were so way up there to where like people wouldn't have lived for hundreds
Mhm.
and hundreds of miles. You know what I'm
Oh, they'll
saying?
call that the DEW system, distant early warning system.
It is 9 o'clock, so I don't want to keep you.
Yeah, we got
I know
to
you
shut
got
it
something
down
to
now.
ask.
Robert's on for a little while in
Yeah,
a minute. Thanks for coming
I
up,
just
Desert.
wanted to say something. That's all.
Yeah, no, you said quite a bit.
Okay.
Thank you for
Now,
coming up.
so when I take out of here, I just hit that word leave.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, thank you, John, for talking
great.
to me. I
It's great
appreciate
talking to you.
that. All
All
right.
right.
I'll see you
Love.
later. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye. Good night, everyone. We'll see you in about an hour for class.